Hello there, and a very good Thursday afternoon. Welcome along. It is Thursday, October the 9th, 2025. Welcome to Thursday, friends. It's the Daily Crack Show with myself, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio. We are coming at you live from just outside Castlebar in beautiful County Mayo, right on the cusp of Europe. John Lennon's birthday today, or would have been. He was born in 1940 on this day, and he would be turning 85 today, were he still around. It's a grey, overcast day here in the west of Ireland. It's been that way. Not great weather for moon spotting. We have that harvest moon. We went outside last night, several occasions, but there was a lot of cloud cover. It's been very cloudy all this week, so not great stargazing weather. And, there is that meteor event taking place in the skies. It was supposed to peak last night, but sure, we couldn't see a damn thing. Not a sign of the moon, not a sign of the stars, and certainly no shooting stars. But there you go. And speaking of the moon, reading a piece today in the Irish Daily Star that a scientist has found two possible cave entrances on the moon that could support human survival and even serve as a base for trips to Mars. So it could be the moon stopover on your way to Mars. That's according to this scientist, Daniel LaCour, and he's got a PhD at the University of Kent. So he's been doing some work up there on the moon from afar using AI and all of that nice stuff. And he reckons there's a couple of caves up there, one which has water and ice and stuff like that, and might support human life. But there you go. We'll leave the details to Donald Trump and Elon Musk to work that one out. And speaking of Mars, McDonald's, they're hoping to open the first restaurant on the Red Planet. Yeah, we're told it's going to have great food, but no atmosphere. We hope you're well this Thursday. It's Global Irish Radio, the Irish diaspora station, and we're here with you each day around about this time, letting you know all that's happening here in Mother Ireland. And 2 days after the budget, the big budget of 2025, near a word or a mention of it in the papers today. Very little about it anyway, at least. It was a whole lot of nothing, that budget. Very inconsequential, and nothing certainly controversial. The only thing that was controversial was the fact there was nothing in it in terms of, kind of handouts or not much generosity for the workers of this nation. 2.8 million hard-working people literally worse off thanks to the budget because they didn't get any tax breaks or tax cuts or anything there, but the carbon taxes and stuff like that means that a lot of people are worse off than they were before the budget. So moving swiftly on from the government's point of view from the budget, we had a contrite Micheál Martin saying sorry last night. He doesn't often say sorry now. You don't often see politicians saying sorry. But anyway, he went before his parliamentary party for a grueling 5.5-hour meeting. That's a tough one. That is punishment in itself. So he was before the parliamentary party for about 5.5 hours, getting a good grilling, answering questions about Jim Gavin and the botched presidential campaign. Yes, there's a lot of anger, it's fair to say, within the party, and we were telling you yesterday that the wagons are circling and they smell blood and stuff like that. But Micheál will live to fight another day. And one of his potential successors, Jim Callaghan, who is the Justice Minister, says, yes, he is interested in leading the party, but not at this time. So there you go. Maybe further down the line. And he's just taken on the Justice portfolio, doing good things in that space, I have to say. And a promising leader down the line. The deputy leader of the party, Jack Chambers, that lad, I don't know what to say about it. I don't think... He's not too promising from my perspective. He doesn't have a great personality. He doesn't have much charisma. He's somebody said he's got the personality of a pencil. But anyway, there you go. He certainly isn't a threat to Micheál Martin's leadership at this time. But there you go. He's got them off his back for now. And as you know, a lot of people are very, very happy with the way things panned out for Fianna Fáil. They do not have a horse in the race now in the presidential election because of the sensational withdrawal of Jim Gavin. And the latest is that the tenant at the centre of that controversy, who's been coming out talking about it and saying, he's sorry for Jim Gavin, the way things panned out. And, a simple phone call might have sorted the whole thing out. But, Jim took the drastic action of withdrawing from the race. He had a tough week, as we said, lots of missteps and wasn't polling too well. But those polls, as I said earlier in the week, and Brendan O'Connor on Radio 1 last week was drawing attention to the fact that those early polls in the presidential election, they're usually way off the mark. And by the time you get to polling day, it's a completely different picture. So you take them with a serious health warning. But anyway, the tenant at the centre of that controversy has got or is about to get his money back. That is the word from Jim Gavin's lawyer. So a sorry episode for the Fianna Fáil party, and there are 2 horses left in the race, and the debates and the campaign goes on for both of those. Little bit of a gaffe for Heather Humphreys, and she said a campaign video about her visit to Belfast that features Germany's parliament was an error. Yes, it was a mistake. You know, mistakes, they do happen, and she is explaining how it happened and stuff like that. The Fine Gael candidate, who is from a Protestant background and grew up in the border county of Monaghan, has previously said that she has a unique understanding of the North. She said previously that she has travelled there on many, many occasions and does not only go there on day trips in reference to the other presidential candidates. Well, candidate now, I suppose you could say. And Miss Humphreys, she visited Belfast there on Monday, where she met students in the west of the city and spoke to unionists about their concerns, and then quizzed on the campaign video about the visit that featured an image of the Bundestag. Miss Humphrey, she came out, she was like, that was just a mistake, she said. So essentially they released this video to tie in with her visit to Belfast, and the image in the backdrop was, but because they're so not similar, the City Hall there in Belfast and the Bundestag in Germany. So a bit of a mix. You wonder how these things happen, you know. But anyway, they do happen, and the video was taken down fairly promptly, and she said it was a mistake. Thanks for letting us know, she says. And there you go. That's Heather Humphreys, whose husband, I believe, was part of the Orange Order up there, which is rather unusual. But she said it wasn't an Orange Order. They were just at a barbecue. It wasn't a meeting for the Orange Order or anything like that. So there, Heather Humphreys weathering a very minor storm in her case. But there you go. That's all we have for you. It's become boring again, the presidential election. It's rather lackluster, and not sure when is there a debate going on today? I'm not too sure, but we'll keep you posted if anything major happens in terms of the Irish presidential election. But it's got dull and boring again. Now, Leo Varadkar, he has hit out at Maria Steen after she called for the presidential election to be cancelled. Miss Steen, who missed out after securing only 18 of the required 20 signatures before the nomination deadline, claimed the political legitimacy of the race has been further undermined by Jim Gavin dropping out. Now, the former Taoiseach wrote, woman who identified as true Democrat last week calls for the Constitution to be suspended and the rule of law ignored so the election can be cancelled. So there's Leo Varadkar having a bit of a go, poking at Maria Steen, who didn't make it onto the ballot, wanted to. A lot of people not happy at the fact that she didn't get on the ballot. A lot of people not happy with the process and the undemocratic nature of it and how you get on the ballot, because you have to have the support, as you know, of 20 TDs or 4 local authorities, and with most of those local authorities, not all of them, but a lot of them controlled by parties, the major parties, those parties, and certainly Fine Gael insisted that their councillors and their members voted along party lines. So hard for a candidate like Maria Steen to get on the ballot, and there's a spoil the vote campaign going on in support of her now, because a big constituency feel they're not represented by the candidates, and we'll have to wait and see what happens there. So she's definitely on Jim is still on the ballot and technically could win, because too late to take his name off. So remains to be seen what happens, but the dynamic of the race has changed. And we were telling you there earlier in the week, weren't we? Leo Varadkar out and about these days promoting his new book. If you're into political memoirs and that kind of thing, it might be a good read for you. And he's talking very candidly about his time as head of Irish political life and leading the government for a number of years, and Fine Gael as well. And he's been doing the publicity circuit. Did a couple of good interviews. The Path to Power with Ivan Yates and Matt Cooper. I was actually surprised. Ivan Yates, who is a former Fine Gael minister, he actually gave him a serious grilling, and he was rather tough on him. I thought it would be a cakewalk with Ivan's background as a Fine Gael minister, but he was have to say he was very impartial, and he threw some tough questions his way, but Leo was well able to handle them. And he was also on the bookshelf, a more softball interview with Ryan Tubridy. The bookshelf is That podcast where Ryan interviews people and looks at their life through the prism of books that they read as a child, books that changed their life, all that kind of stuff. But it's an insight into the individual or the guest who is guesting on the show at any given time. And this past week it was Leo Varadkar, and of course his real reason for being there was to push this book, Speaking My Mind. That's the name of his memoir. And you can check it out at all good bookstores or Amazon or wherever you get your books these days. Might be nice stock and stuff for coming up to the holidays as well. Leo would be hoping that you'll go out there and buy the book. And since we were talking there about Heather and her visit to Northern Ireland this week, I was shocked somewhat to see in the papers today, the Irish Daily Star, somebody who is keeping an open mind on a united Ireland. You'll never believe who I'm talking about. Does the name Paisley mean anything to you? Remember his dad, Ian Paisley Sr., and Ulster says no. He said no all his life, but he's been remembered for saying yes in the end when he sat down and worked out a deal with Micheál Martin and that advanced the Good Friday Agreement and all that good stuff and peace in Northern Ireland. So a man that always said no, being remembered for yes. But his son, Ian Jr., I was rather surprised. The DUP, though, they're distancing themselves from his comments. But as we say, the DUP has distanced itself from comments made by the son of one of the founders of the party over being open to hearing a persuasive argument about the potential of United Ireland. That'll tell you how bad things are going in the UK at the moment. Things are not great over there. In fact, they're saying now that Nigel Farage is the big threat, and he could topple this Labour government, and he's only got 5 seats in the Parliament, but doing very well. He's showing like that he could take 40% of he would poll 40% or something if there was an election right now. But polls are not always right, as you know. But anyway, Ian Paisley, a former MP for North Antrim, was speaking to a new podcast. Everybody's doing the podcast. I tell you, that's where it's at, podcast. But he's talking about a new podcast called Borderland by the BBC Northern Ireland, and he appeared alongside ex-Sinn Féin MP Michelle Gildernew and said, "My mind is open. I'm a true believer in Britain and this place being British, but if you have a persuasive argument, please present them to date." I haven't heard them yet, but there you go. So a little bit of a twist on his words, but the crux of that piece saying that he is open to persuasion in terms of a united Ireland. The DUP disowning him for that comment. But anyway, there you go. Maybe things are slowly moving in that direction. So that's the latest from Northern Ireland. That's the latest from the Irish presidential election. A whole lot of nothing, basically. And a man was sacked for... it just goes to show there's not much, because we're living in a very political world. You never guess a man was sacked for a greeting that didn't go down too well with the person receiving the greeting. And what did he say? What was he guilty of saying? He was sacked after saying to a colleague, "Top of the morning," to you, in an Irish accent. He's won 18,000 for unfair dismissal because... the judge sided with him. Carl Davies was working at Oscar Mayer factory, ready-made meals place or whatever it was, when on August the 13th of 2024, he greeted the manager in the accent, saying, as we just said there, "Top of the morning" to you in the Irish accent. Judge Vincent Ryan said, "I found that the dismissal was unfair, which does not mean that I approve the use of the greeting in question or the use of mock accents." So there you go. The manager didn't like being greeted in an Irish accent and top of the morning to you. He must have been an Irish lad working in the UK or something of that nature. I get that impression. I think the factory was in England, and your man comes up and gives him the greeting. Or maybe it was in Ireland, actually. I think it's in Ireland. Well, I don't know where it is, but imagine that, getting sacked for saying to your manager, "Top of the morning" to you in the Irish accent. There'll be a lot of people fired in America for... If that was the case. But for his troubles, he got 18,000. The judge said he wasn't discriminated against. Although he didn't condone the use of accents and that kind of stuff. Rightio, friends, we're live here on Global Irish Radio. That'll tell you how much of a slow news day it is today. We're talking about this nonsense. But anyway, we hope you're well. As I say, it's Thursday. We're coming into the weekend. Weather, as we say, it's grey, it's overcast. The rain is not that far away, dry at the moment, but the sky's not clear at all. So I'm giving up on seeing any of those meteors tonight and tomorrow either. But at least, as we say, it is dry. Now, yesterday on the programme, we were talking about... the Beckhams and Posh Spice, Victoria Beckham, and the fact that she made 1.9 million last year without even getting out of bed or singing a note from her music catalogue and royalties and that stuff. Well, it's hard to escape the Beckhams in any of the papers. All the papers have coverage of the Beckhams today. And why is that, you might be saying? Well, it's to do with a new documentary that is dropping on Netflix. Brooklyn Beckham appears in... Brooklyn is the son that he's having there's a bit of a feud going on there, but he doesn't appear for too long. He appears in it for about, he does appear in the documentary, but only for about 4 or 5 seconds. We'll come to that in a minute. Victoria Beckham was joined by her family and friends in London for the world premiere of her new Netflix series last night, and lots of the media were there, so there's coverage everywhere you look. The former Spice Girl and fashion designer 51 was the guest of honour at the event, showcasing or premiering the event at Mayfair Cinema. And Posh Spice, as she was known, was accompanied by her by invited guests, her husband, her family, and her other, would you say, fellow Spice band members? You know the ones I'm talking about. And yeah, lots of pictures, lots of glam and all the rest of it at the premiere of that last night. And it's going to be well promoted over the next few weeks. Streaming on Netflix if you want to catch it. Oliver says it's an insult to journalists to call it a documentary. It's more an exercise in PR. So I'm going to go with Oliver on that one. But if you want to check it out, it's Victoria Beckham and her latest project. It has just dropped on Netflix. So there you go. If you want something different to watch. And as I say, Brooklyn, the son, who is they had a bit of a falling out about a year or two ago, maybe in 2024, something like that. He appears in the new documentary despite the ongoing family feud, but blink and you'll miss him, says the Daily Star. The 26-year-old and his wife Nicolette manage around 5 seconds on screen as they're shown arriving for Victoria's fashion show in 2024 in Paris, shortly before the rift began. And a source said Victoria was not in charge of the edit and has spoken of given up creative control and all the rest of it, and that's why he's only in it for 4 or 5 seconds. But we know there's a bit of a falling out. But that's it. A lot of coverage of the Beckhams in all of your papers today. It is inescapable and it's pure tripe. But anyway, something that might be you might be better off checking out. Something that I think is going to be really, really good or going to be fun to watch this December is Rowan Atkinson. Rowan Atkinson of Mr. Bean fame. That's right. He is back on Netflix, and this time it is babies, not bees, causing him a world of pain. Following on from his debut series on the streamer, Man vs. Baby, sees the comedy legend's character Trevor Bingley. He takes on a new job as a school caretaker, but a lucrative offer to look after a luxury London penthouse over the Christmas proves too tempting to resist, and his plans, however, for a relaxed winter break quickly turn sour when on the last day of term, nobody comes to collect baby Jesus from the school nativity, meaning Trevor finds himself with another undersized and unexpected companion joining him in his fancy new penthouse. Predictably, it doesn't end well, and the 4-parter is out on December the 11th. Perfect timing for some madcap festive fun. So that's Rowan Atkinson and his latest appearance on Netflix. That one sounds fun and good crack, and you know, there you go. We'll see how he gets on with that little baby that had to take home with him for the holidays because nobody picked him up from the school nativity. That sounds fun and sounds festive and all the rest of it. So we'll definitely be checking that one out on Netflix, and you should too. It'll put you in a good mood for the holidays. Debuting, as I say, around about the 11th of December. We're always looking for something good to watch on the telly or on Netflix. I feel like we've watched everything on Netflix already, so there you go. Always looking for something new and fresh. By the way, won't be here with you, I should tell you, next Tuesday. We're here most days 3 to 4 for the Daily Crack, bring up to speed on all that's happening, the chitter chatter of the nation, the crack and music as well. And if there's ever anything you want to hear, studio@gir.ie. We've been studying hard all this week for taking the Irish. It's complicated if you return from the States and you want to drive in this country because you have to go through all kinds of hoops and barriers and all the rest of it. So the first step, of course, is taking the theory test. So we've been studying for it and we've signed up for it, and we're going to sit that test next Tuesday. And I have to tell you, it's such a money racket in this country. $45 to take the theory test for half an hour. And if you make any mistakes on your application, it's $15 per mistake. It's more like a money scam than it is a driving test. But anyway, there you go. So we'll be doing that on Tuesday. So we won't be with you on Tuesday. And then, of course, you have to buy all the material. All the book costs a fortune as well, just to learn the rules of the road. So we hope that we pass on our first attempt next Tuesday. So we won't be there then. And then, of course, we have to go and take driving lessons. Goodness gracious me. But anyway, there you go. Dolly Parton. Let's turn our attention to Dolly. Lovely Dolly. Hello, Dolly. And we were talking, the world had feared the worst yesterday because one of her siblings, and she has 11, but the youngest one came out and asked for prayers for Dolly, who was having some health issues. And Dolly Parton spoke out last night to assure her fans she ain't dead yet. No, she's not dead. She's very much alive. And concerns were raised for the 79-year-old music legend after her sister said she was up all night praying for her. But anyway, there you go. Dolly came out and her management came out and she said she's not done yet, and she doesn't think God is ready for her yet, and she wants to continue on working, and that's exactly what she's going to be doing. She had, what did she say? I ain't done yet. I don't think God is through with me, and I ain't through with working. So there you go. That's Dolly. Lots of people, fans will be relieved, because people were a little bit scared. She did put the fear of God in people when she... usually when you come out and ask people, in Tennessee it's probably different, but over here if you come out in different places, if you come out and ask for prayers, usually you get the you get the notion or the idea that the person that's being prayed for is on their deathbed. But Dolly is pictured in the papers today. She looks pretty healthy to me, I'll tell you that much. She does have a kidney stone, but the docs are taking care of that. And stand down. She doesn't mind you still praying for her, but she wants you to know, because she said you can always do with a prayer or two, but she's doing okay. And rumours of her demise, they're obviously greatly exaggerated. Now, lots of thousands and thousands of Oasis fans, they're telling us, are gutted at the news that it's unlikely, shall we say, that they will be appearing in Slane in 2026. There had been rumours and stuff, and they thought, fans of the band thought that they would appear in Slane in 2026. Because the County Meath venue is planning to return to hosting gigs after a brief hiatus. The last person you recall that played there was Harry Styles. That was back in 2023. And Oasis and U2 fans had been at fever pitch, with rumours flying that one of them would play the iconic grounds next year. Wasn't that the location for the filming of Traders? I believe it was, filmed in that beautiful castle there in Slane. But anyway, the last time Oasis played there was back in 2009. They absolutely rocked the venue. But now it appears it will be an American country star instead that's going to show up there. Country star Luke Combs is his name. I'm not familiar with him. I'm not big into the American country music, but apparently he's a huge star. Obviously he is if he's playing Slane Castle, and between Slane Castle and between Luke Combs, they have cryptic messages and all of that on their, teasing people on their social media feeds and all the rest of it. But the crux of it is that Luke Combs is the one, the anointed one, the one that will appear in Slane Castle as they return to hosting live gigs there. And it comes just months after Lord Henry Mount Charles, who staged iconic rock concerts at Slane Castle, died at 74 of lung cancer. So I think the son that's taken over things there. And first concert back is going to be, as you say, Luke Combs. So a little bit of disappointment there for the Oasis fans who had their knickers in a twist, let's put it that way, that Oasis might be the ones to rock the venue in 2026. Not so. It's going to be more a country music affair, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there you go. One Direction, since we're talking about music and showbiz and all of that nice stuff, One Direction. We're tired of the budget anyway. We're tired of the presidential speak. So One Direction have ruled out an Oasis-style reunion following the death of Liam Payne. Louis Tomlinson said he and his bandmates, Irish star Neil Horan, Harry Styles and Zayn Malik, could not get back together without their brother who died last year. And he said... He did add a caveat though. He says, never say never, but I'm sure, they're just not sure about it being right for him at this time. And he says, for the sake of argument, 25 years down the line, if somebody offers them something along the lines that Oasis received and a ball of money of that nature, well, that might change things. But as far as the band is concerned, too soon after the passing of Liam Payne, and they have no intention, and they don't feel it would be right. They would have all kinds of guilt, and they just wouldn't feel right without their brother Liam. So they are ruling that out, fair and square, but not really saying, things can change, and maybe 25 years down the line when they're all broke, they might change all of that. And another reunion that's on the cards is Boyzone, and Keith Duffy has admitted that Boyzone never planned to reunite until their No Matter What documentary helped them deal with the upset and darkness in the band. So the Dubliners are set to reunite for a special one-off gig in London's Emirates Stadium on June the 6th of 2026. That's Boyzone, and as I said there, Boyzone, Ireland's first and original boy band, I suppose, went on to big things, and then of course prematurely they lost one of the band members, Steve Gately, and they're very open about that. And Keith Duffy talking about the fact that they didn't intend getting back together again, but doing the documentary No Matter What, was the title of that documentary, which aired on Netflix and every place else in the past year or so, helped them to deal and process their grief and all the rest of it. And so now they're ready to come back and do a reunion gig. But they're only doing a once-off gig, and I was listening to people on Liveline last week calling in. They weren't too happy that the reunion, maybe they'll add more as they go along, but they said that Keith said the whole thing wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for the Sky documentary earlier this year, and he's been talking on various radio shows and stuff, obviously out promoting this big gig in London in 2026. But a lot of Irish fans were a little bit upset, I think. It was just one young lady said she wouldn't travel over to London to see them, but she felt a little bit cheated at the fact that they're choosing London over Ireland, where Ireland is the one that are the country that kind of put them on the map and made them famous. Remember their first original appearance on the Late Late Show? Couldn't sing back there, but they busted a few moves, and they went on, of course, to big things, global stardom and all of the rest of it. And so for one night only in June of 2026 they will reunite. I suspect if it goes well there might be an Irish date as well, but sure, of course, we will have to wait and see. studio@gir.ie if you ever feel the need to get in touch with us here. globalirishradio.com. We are the Irish Diaspora Station. We bring you Irish radio programs from Ireland, Irish communities all around the world. It's what we do. And trying to do something here, a little bit distracted as we try and get some music lined up for you on the programme today. Always it's not cooperating. But anyway, let's tell you about another story here real quick, because a lot of people, there's something to look forward to this weekend in the form of soccer and football. But not looking good for the boys in green, it has to be said. Heimer Hallgrimsson's days are numbered as Ireland boss. That's according to Kevin Kilbane, the 110-time capped man. Believes there's no way back after last month's defeat away to Armenia, and Ireland World Cup hopes have been killed off already. So says Kevin Kilbane. And Ireland face Group F leaders Portugal in Lisbon on Saturday night. We'll probably get hammered there, and then Armenia in the Aviva Stadium next Tuesday night, knowing a minimum of 3 points is needed to keep things competitive ahead of November's final two games. So there you go. Hallgrimsson needs a win. That's the bottom line, and things haven't been going too well for him. And according to Kevin Kilbane, reading this piece at least in the back page of today's Irish Daily Star, the writing is on the wall and he could be on the way out, given the past number of performances by this team. But sure, of course, most people would say they don't have the team, they don't have the players, and changing the manager wouldn't do a whole lot anyway. So there you go. Prayers, that's what's needed. A miracle even. And yes, there you go. That's it on that. Some good something to look forward to at the weekend. Although I don't think it's going to be too good. Hopefully we can beat Armenia in Aviva, but obviously Portugal, that's going to be a tall order. But you would want to be Hallgrimsson at this particular time. But hopefully they can get the 3 points. Miracles, they do happen. globalirishradio.com or gir.ie, and as I said, studio@gir.ie will always find us here, and good to hear from you. Let us know where you are if you want to hear something, anything on your mind, as Tom Flannery might say. Always a delight to hear from you. We're coming at you live from just outside Castlebar here in County Mayo. The almost 2 years after those awful, horrible that attack by Hamas in Israel, the sides have been getting around the table. They've been doing some talking, and they're making progress, and that is a wonderful thing. Hopefully they can put this past 2 years, this bloody conflict and the genocide, in the rearview mirror, and hopes are high that these talks that's taking place in Egypt will yield results, and we hope that is the case, because it's been a bloody conflict, and such a lot, about 60,000 people or so have lost their lives in the intervening 2 years since that attack by Hamas, which killed 107 Israelis, and there was kidnappings and all the rest. So progress seems to be being made, and that is the good news. We're delighted and we're happy about that. And we'll start out with some music, a salute to all of that, with a mother's heart from Palestine. It's Mary Black and friends getting us up and running musically on our programme. It's The Daily Crack with Sean G.
My heart is low, my heart is so low, as only a mother's heart can be. There's only a mother. There's only a mother. There's only a mother's heart can know. The tears that drip from my bewildered eyes, taste of anguish and despair. Oh, the horrors we've seen, they play on my mind, oh. And each night I pray for Palestine. My heart is low, my heart is so low. So only a mother's heart can be. So only a mother, so only a mother, so only a mother's heart can know. When restless eyes reveal my troubled soul, and anger floods my broken heart, I mourn for their dreams, I mourn for their way of life. I dream we all see a free Palestine. قلبي حزين، قلبي غارق بالأنين، كقلب الأم في ليل حزين، كقلب الأم، كقلب الأم، يعرف سر الشجن الدفين.
Yeah, that's Mother's Heart for Palestine, Mary Black and friends, and celebrations on Gaza streets and on the streets of Israel as word of agreement on the first phase of a peace deal were confirmed. Finally, a little bit of good news about the Middle East this Thursday.
Hello, all you Global Irish Radio listeners out there, wherever you may be. It's myself, Finbar, here in beautiful northern Colorado, inviting you along to the Raggle Celtic Folk Show, streaming here live every Monday and Friday evening at 10 p.m. Irish time, where you're guaranteed to hear some rare old recordings from the old country and beyond. And it's all here on globalirishradio.com, the home of the Raggle Taggle. Listen to the Raggle Taggle on Global Irish Radio.
Yes, indeed, friends. Oh, excuse me. The Raggle Taggle returns tomorrow night, Friday. Another exciting edition of old rare recordings, nicely created by our pal Finbar, so not to be missed here on Global Irish Radio. We're live, friends, this Thursday, and coming up later on tonight, of course, Mr. Tom Flannery's back live from Chicago. Lots of, I don't know if it's just my social media feed or if it's everybody's, probably mine because of my ties to Chicago, but seeing some of the footage and stuff like that, crazy scenes on the streets of Chicago, ICE invading neighbourhoods and staking out restaurants and Home Depots and all of that kind of stuff, car wash and stuff like that. And, you know, the Donald cracking down on illegal immigration, all of the rest of it. We were told it was going to be about raids that were to apprehend and remove gangbangers, but it doesn't look. It seems to be much more than that. And if you look at some of the lots of people are taking videos, and indeed the mayor of, or not the mayor, the governor of Illinois, telling people to document anything that they see and capture the behaviour of these ICE agents that move in, and it's like literally like a war zone in some regards, and you see soldiers and stuff like that. And what's going on is just like crazy stuff, not what you'd expect to see on the streets of America. And US President Donald Trump has said that the Illinois governor and the Chicago mayor should be jailed as they oppose his deployment of National Guard troops for his immigration and crime crackdown in America's third largest city. Now, why do I get the sense that it's not really a crime crackdown or an immigration even crackdown? It seems to be much more than that. It seems that the Donald, in my opinion, and my opinion only, if it's about cracking down on crime and taking dangerous people off the streets, that is a wonderful thing. But I think if you believe that, there's a certain amount of naivety that comes with it, or just I don't know. It seems to me that the Donald is laying the groundwork for other things and wants to get the American people used to seeing troops. He's trying to militarize the streets for maybe what's going to come down the line. Who knows? That's just my 2 cents. Just like looking at it, I mean, these people that they're picking up, hard-working Mexicans is how I describe them. Family men, and lots of them don't even have criminal records. It would be one thing if they were gangbangers. There's, Lord knows, there's plenty of gangbangers on the streets of Chicago, and it's a wonderful thing if they target those. But the footage that I'm seeing on social media, the footage from the ground, showing innocent people, family people, Mexicans, just call it what it is, Mexicans working in restaurants, working in car washes, the laundromats and places like that, lining up do gangbangers wait in line at the Home Depot? A tradition in Chicago, or one of the things that happens in Chicago, is that labourers, they go to the Home Depots and they try and get work for the day or work for the week with contractors and stuff. So in other words, if you're a contractor and you want some general labour, you'll stop by some of the Home Depots, and there'll be various labourers lining up there to try and get work for the day or for the week. And last I checked, I don't think gangbangers do that kind of thing. I think they're off doing other stuff that's certainly not lining up to get jobs or hard-working, labour, work of that kind of nature, which is a hard graft, let's put it that way. And these people are being targeted, and it's a shame to see. And the way ICE are coming in with their coming in armed and with masks and not identifying themselves and just literally lifting people off the streets and communities in fear, it's a sorry sight. And this thing of arresting your political opponents, that's where did you see that before? Isn't that what Putin did with his political opponent, and then let him die or killed him in a jail? So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I feel sorry for America. And if you can't see what's going on, then you're either very, very naive, or you're guilty of, at the very minimum, appeasement. Enough about that. It's not a nice story. It's not a pleasant story. It's a sad story. That's what it is. So we're live here on Global Irish Radio at this time, usually between 3 to 4, bring up to speed usually on what's going on in this part of the world. So we'll get back to that right now. And what have we got for you? Oh, yeah, we have a little bit of good news. How much does it... They say money can't buy love, but we'll tell you exactly how much love costs in a little bit. How's about that? It's a tough thing to quantify, but we have the answer. We think we have the answer. So that's coming your way. More music as well, and we'll take a look at some of the top trending series news stories of the day here in Ireland as well. That's still all to come. Studio@gir.ie. Oh, I was talking about Tom. That's why I get sidetracked so easily, don't I? Tom's back tonight, live from Chicago with Tom's Irish Radio Show. So check that one out, tom@gir.ie, if you want to get requests or dedications. Great music between 6 to 8 tonight, of course, with the great Jim Corbett from Bundoran in County Donegal. Country and Irish and trad and requests and all of that nice stuff. Also, the Crack Radio Show from Philadelphia, the first hour or the second hour of that, live here on Global Irish Radio, and then the entire broadcast tomorrow at between 5 and 7 Irish time. Get another chance to hear this program later on tonight as well. And if you miss it live or you miss the repeat, you can get it anytime at thedailycrack.com. So all previous episodes, it'll drop as a podcast later on this afternoon as well. So watch out for that. And what else have we got for you? Oh, yes. The Irish Ranter dropped last night as well. We sat down with John Gurry and recorded the latest latest edition of the Irish Ranter. So that's available wherever you get your podcasts, and also available at theirishranter.com. So lots to rant about there. We'll go back to we were down in the old vinyl vault earlier today, and we were having a bit of a gander, a bit of a look around the place, and we came across this one by Dermot O'Brien, The Old Claddering, now on the Daily Crack with me, Sean G.
Claddering should once be grandmother's. She bore it a lifetime, gave it to me all through the long years. She wore it so proudly, it was made where the cladder rolls down to the sea. What tales it could tell of trials and of hardship, and grand happy days when the whole world could sing. So away with your sorrow, it will bring love tomorrow. Sure, everyone who loves it, the old claddering. With the crown of the crest to remind us of honour, and clasping a heart God's blessing will bring. The circle of gold always kept homes contented, with true love entwined in the old claddering. As she knelt after prayers and thought of her dear ones, her soft gentle smile, it would charm a king. On her warm hand as she told me her story, you could see the bright glint on the old claddering. It was her gift to me, and it made me so happy. With this on my finger, my heartbeats would ring. No king on his throne could be half so happy as I am when wearing the old claddering. Oh, when the angels above call me up to heaven, in the heart of the clatter, their voices will sing, sing away with your sorrow. You'll be with us tomorrow. Be sure and bring with you your old claddering. Be sure and bring with you your old claddering.
Listening to Sean G on Global Irish Radio.
Global Irish Radio is excited to partner with 950 WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston, to bring you portions of the Irish Hit Parade, providing the soundtrack to your weekend. Join Paul Sullivan on Saturdays 3 to 7 p.m. Irish time and famous Seamus Mulligan on Sunday 7 to 10 p.m. for a feast of Irish music. Streaming live from Boston right here on globalirishradio.com.
Yes, indeed, friends. globalirishradio.com. We're live. This is the Daily Crack. Don't forget to tune in at the weekends for great Irish music from Boston. That comes to your courtesy, as we always tell you. Our good friends out there, Irish 950, bringing great Irish music since 1967. So check it out. Now, it's often said that money can't buy you love. However, new research shows that the exact cost of romance, or what the exact cost romance will be for Irish singletons looking for a date this winter. Now that it's getting into the winter, the weather's getting colder, people hunker down and they try and find companionship or company or love, romance for the winter months. But anyway, this new research estimates that it will cost each person. Any idea how much? If you were to quantify the cost of love and finding love and romance, which money can't buy, but if it were to buy you something, it would cost you approximately €61.50 to enjoy a night out. The findings also show that more than half of those out looking for love will go on an average of 5 dates over the next few months. Now, the research was carried out on behalf of the pizzeria chain Milano. And of course, on that note, we should wish you happy International Pizza and Beer Day. But anyway, speaking of this research, is carried out on behalf of the pizzeria chain Milano to mark the start of what's known as cuffing season. Are you familiar with cuffing season? Well, that's when people go in search of someone to handcuff themselves to for the winter months. Metaphorically, of course. Well, I mean, maybe not. Of course, we're not going there. Anyway, that's your business if you have handcuffs or not. But metaphorically, we're speaking. However, they have to be willing to dig deep to find the right partner. From last-minute taxis to one-time outfits. And, of course, let's not forget the app subscriptions. Very important these days to find love or to find a partner. But anyway, modern dating comes with a hefty price tag. It does indeed. And the survey revealed that 51% admit they regret how much they spent on dating when things didn't work out. You know, when you spend all that money and your expectations, your hopes are high, and the door is slammed in your face at the end of the night. But anyway, that's another story as well. So there you go, 57% of people were going up to 5 dates this cuffing season in search of their perfect match. 60% of those asked, they cite entertainment and activity costs as their biggest expense. So obviously, you know, taxis and paying into concerts or music events or restaurants, that kind of thing. 53% of respondents will pay up to €40 on a new outfit, despite 46% admitting to only wearing a date outfit once. The date outfit doesn't get used too often. Maybe up to 5 times if you're lucky, but in most instances about once. But anyway, and when it comes to footing the bill, 35% say they typically split it, while 46% take on the full cost, and 6% admit they will never pay at all. So now, if you're in that 6%, you don't deserve a second date. That's what I would be inclined to say. But anyway, what would I know? And to mark cuffing season, Milano is set to offer 40% off selected menu items to help daters with their costs. So isn't that very nice of Milano Pizza this cuffing season? But there you go. That's according to research, the whole notion of money not buying love. Well, €61.50 will go a long way. I think that's the crux of what they're trying to tell you. And of course, don't forget to go to Milano Pizza Chain. StudioGIR.ie, globalirishradio.com, and if you're not lucky enough to get a date, maybe we can give you a metaphorical hug on the programme today. Here's Foster and Allen.
I remember I wasn't much older than 4, maybe 5 at the most. The go-to-school mornings were colder, no such thing as a buzz. Our mother was searching for school bags and combing our hair the wrong way, as she buttered our toast and buttoned our coats. Here's what my mother would say: we all need a hug in the morning and one at the end of the day. As many as possible squeezed in between to keep life's troubles at bay. No matter wherever you ramble, your problems be great or be small. It is my belief, for instant relief, a hug is the best cure of all.
I met an old exile in Boston who longed to go back home one day, but he thought no one there would be caring, for he'd been so long away. To stop a teardrop in his coffee, he gave his old whiskers a tug, and I knew that he'd give all he needed to live for a big welcome home again hug.
We all need a hug in the morning and one at the end of the day. As many as possible squeezed in between to keep life's troubles at bay. No matter wherever you ramble, your problems be great or be small. It is my belief, for instant relief, a hug is the best cure of all. A letter can bring consolation, a phone call can brighten the night. In the midst of with great aggravation, they can put at least some things to right. But when your heart feels like it's breaking, your life slipping down past the plug, and you feel like a ghost, the thing you want most is someone to give you a hug. We all need a hug in the morning, and the one at the end of the day. As many as possible squeezed in between to keep life's troubles at bay. No matter wherever you ramble, your problems be great or be small. It is my belief, for instant relief, a hug is the best cure of all.
There you go, friends. A virtual hug for you this Thursday from the Daily Crack. That was Foster and Allen. And you're listening to the Daily Crack with Sean G here on Global Irish Radio. And chaos broke out. I saw this story online. Absolutely. Well, it could only happen in America, I think. Chaos broke out at a restaurant after a woman refused to leave the all-you-can-eat buffet, claiming she was getting her money's worth after sitting there for over 3 to 4 hours. Staff said she kept going back for dessert even after closing time and told workers it's all you can eat, not when you say stop. Police were called when she locked herself into the bathroom with a plate of fried shrimp. She was eventually escorted out, still arguing that freedom includes free refills. Here's a little snap of what happened when the police arrived.
To head out.
For what? For eating what I paid for?
Yeah,
this is outrageous.
You were warned about piling up plates. It's time to go.
I'm not done
and
with
take
my
it to go if you'd like, but we can't stay inside. Right this way.
Unbelievable.
Ma'am, the manager's asked you to leave. We're going to need you to head out.
For what? For eating what
There you go. And she was certainly getting her money's worth. She was there for hours and hours and hours. She was there at closing time as well and went into the bathroom with her plate of shrimp. She wasn't leaving without it. You always see somebody like that at the buffet, don't you? Just overpiling things on their plates and all that. We've seen it ourselves throughout the years. But there you go. She wasn't going easily. It took 3 officers to get her out of the building, and she left with a plate of food. So how's that? She got her money's worth. Let's put it that way. Now, let us tell you what's going on in this week country of ours. We'll take a quick glance at some of the top trending series news stories this Thursday. And new figures from the Central Statistics Office show that consumer price inflation rose to an 18-month high to 2.7% in September, up from 2% the previous month. And that marks the highest that inflation has been since March 2024, when the rate of inflation was 2.9%. So, wow, we're not far behind that 2.9% now at 2.7%. And that will come to no surprise to anybody that's in the grocery store recently. The government telling us all this week that inflation was, and Pascal telling us it was at 2%, and he was lying to us, obviously, just to get his budget out of the way. And he came in for a little bit of criticism. There was a lot of scrutiny of his. They always go, the finance ministers and the public expenditure minister go on RTE to answer questions on the Claire Byrne show, and everybody's wondering what Pascal gave Claire Byrne. Before he left the studio, he went over to one of his handlers and he got a little gift bag and he handed it to Claire Byrne. And of course, the inference was that he was giving her gifts and she was giving him easy questions. But I think it's the fact that Pascal's not a bad, he's a nice guy, and Claire Byrne is finishing up. It's her last one of those type programs with Pascal. I think the last budget on RTE for her, at least, as she moves back to News Talk. So Pascal was just being nice, I think, but it didn't escape the watchful eye of a lot of people as he handed her that little gift bag. Now, the Minister for Public Expenditure and Reform, Jack Chambers, has said he deeply regrets the manner of Jim Gavin's withdrawal from the presidential election campaign. Minister Chambers was the Director of Elections for Fianna Fáil in Mr Gavin's campaign. There's a rumour that Jack Gavin knew about the tenant issue way back in September. So he's getting a grilling on that front. But anyway, there you go. He's skirting around the issue and coming out with the usual, unclear answer. Garda Síochána, Garda Síochána has said that there has been a 67% increase in drunken offences in Dublin City. The updated figures are part of the Garda's high visibility policing plan, which included a pop-up clinic in the Dublin Docklands on Thursday, attended by Assistant Commissioner Cleona Richardson. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that these drunken offences are up by 67%. I would say detection is up because there's more guards in the streets now and they're actually seeing what's really going on. I think the drunken offences were probably always there, but now that they've increased their visibility and they're taking note and marking the offences, they're seeing they're counting them better. Let's put it that way. Presidential candidate Catherine Connolly has said Fine Gael are absolutely scared of the momentum behind her campaign. The independent candidate also said that she spent her whole life standing up for women and said people know her as that person. I have never changed, she said, and she was speaking to reporters today, and there you go. So she came in for a little bit of controversy or a little bit of stick because she was asked the question, would she give a job to a rapist, a convicted rapist, and she has said she'd have to think about that, and so they're cracking down on her. They're trying to trip her up, but there you go. That's Catherine Connolly and the latest from the presidential campaign or the campaign trail, and Dublin's seven-time All-Ireland Senior Football Champion winner John Small has announced his retirement from inter-county football. The 32-year-old from Ballymun was part of the Sky Blues panel for 11 trophy-laden seasons. So calling time on his time with Dublin is John Small this Thursday afternoon. You're listening to Global Irish Radio. Those, friends, are some of the top trending serious news stories of the day here in this lovely wee country of ours. Here's a little bit of music. Let's take something from Joe Dolan before we finish up for a Thursday. The games people play. And they do play games. Joe Dolan, friends.
Towers till they've covered them with flowers in the back of a black limousine. Think about you and me and the games people play now. Though we make one another cry, break our hearts and then we say goodbye. Cross our hearts and we'll hope to die. Say the other ones to blame, but neither one will ever give in. Though we gaze on and make again, think about the things that might have been. Ooh, and it's a dirty, rotten shame. La-di-da-da-di-da-da-da, la-di-da-da-di-da-da-dee. Think about you and me and the games people play. Suck it to you in the name of the Lord. They're gonna teach you how to live today. Read your horoscope and cheat your faith, and furthermore to hell with hate. Come on, get on board. La-di-da-da-di-da-da-da, la-di-da-da-di-da-da-dee. Think about you and me and the games people play. Look around and tell me what you see. What's happening to you and me?
It's the late great Jolan, bring us ever closer to our finishing line this Thursday here on the Daily Crack. Thank you for your company since 3 this afternoon, and thanks to Margaret helping out as always in the background. The games people play. Yeah, that's our lot, friends, and our quote today, by the way, before we finish up for a lovely Thursday, the pre-weekend, comes from Coco Chanel, none other than Coco Chanel. And Coco says, There are people who have money and people who are rich. How's about that now? Which one are you? Coco Chanel says there are people who have money and people who are rich. On that note, we shall say happy Thursday. Stick around for great music throughout the afternoon here on Global Irish Radio. Jim Corbett at 6 o'clock. Tom's back later on tonight. The Crack from Philadelphia. And another chance to hear this programme later on tonight as well. Or you can catch it anytime, wherever you get your podcasts or at thedailycrack.com. We'll leave you with the Murphys, Michael English. Love won't break your heart. See you tomorrow at 3.